Oh my gosh, it's so hot. It is what it is, right? You want this garden, you want this garden, you want this garden. All right. Hey friends, so we're back. We're in the garden. It is not, oh gosh, it's not, can't uncover those eyes because the sun will get you. Oh my gosh, it is so hot. Okay, so just for reference, I'm using the weather app on my phone here. And hold on, give me just a second to change my location. Okay, so the weather app on my phone, I don't know if you can see that, says it is 82 degrees, high of 89, low of 76. Fancy. We have a 30% chance of rain for today. Feels like 91. It is 9 a.m. Feels like 91. My goodness. Ooh, what's the humidity percentage? Let me see here. Oh look, for outdoor sports it says unfavorable. Conditions are not ideal and consider limiting outdoor exposure. Humidity is at 84%, so it kind of feels like it's sucking the oxygen out of your body. Anywho, all right, I do have some garden work that I have to take care of now that it's not raining. We have to make sure that there's no pots holding water, because that's how you end up with mosquitoes, is if you have like stagnant water. So I have to go through, make sure we don't have any stagnant water throughout the property. But more importantly, I need to eliminate those tomatoes. It's a lot of work, friends. We have a lot of work today, but I'm gonna try to do as much as I can really early, because come like in the next hour or so, you can't be out here. It's too hot. So let's try to get some done super quick.
So friends, like we talked about in the last video, after doing the research for our zone and the time of year, it's just a better decision to pull all of these tomato trees. After all the rains that we had gotten, they just continued to die and they were just struggling really bad. So there's no point in depleting the soil of all the nutrients, keeping a plant in place that you can't save. And that's something that's taken me a long time to figure out, and you just have to cut your losses sometimes and cut the trees and get on with it. This is going to give me a great opportunity to be able to manage weeds and re-amend this soil. And then today I just take advantage of just the weather that we have and the ability to be able to trim down the weeds, because they have been overwhelming the yard lately. Once you get a lot of rain, it's just impossible to keep up with them. So thank goodness for my weed eater. We made light work of it, and I was able to just kind of blow through, cut down all the weeds, and be able to get everything nice and tidied up so that I can plan out well what we're going to be doing come September and October.
Holy moly, y'all. It's rough. It is rough. So we were out here for 40, I can't see, can you tell? 47 minutes. I'm done. I'm sweating through my hat. It's rough. So I've done about as much as I can today. I mean, we took down those weeds really bad with the weed eater, so that'll be super helpful. I do want to start green beans again and a few other seeds, but not quite just yet. That's gonna have to wait a little bit. I'm so tempted. I see empty boxes and I just want to fill them. But I mean, look at me. I am like rosy red as a tomato. The sun is bearing down. It's rough. So if I can barely make it out here, how am I expecting some cold weather plant to make it? So I gotta be strong. I gotta remember, this is not the north. We are in the deep south, and I have to respect the heat, so, and the weather conditions. So we're gonna call it for today. I'm gonna go inside, get washed up, have some lemonade, and then we're gonna make a really beautiful homemade, from scratch completely, to include growing my own pineapples, pineapple upside down cake. So stick with me, guys. It's gonna be great. I'm so excited about this. The pineapples that I grew this year are chef's kiss amazing, and I'm gonna share it with you guys.
Early morning.
So friends, these are my pineapples that I grew. Aren't they beautiful? They're like perfectly yellow. This is what a pineapple is supposed to look like. Oh, I love them. Okay, so we are going to use this fun apparatus. See how it has kind of like ridges on the bottom here to cut, and it will cut rings out of the pineapple. So we're going to use this to cut those up. I'm going to show you exactly how that works. But thankfully we are inside. It is nice and cool, and it's really ironic because this time of year our weather's really weird. The month of June is like a wet month. It always rains, but we get extreme intense heat, and then in the afternoon we get rain typically. Today I went out there, I worked for like about 45 minutes, an hour, and now it's starting to get all cloudy and rainy. So I'm glad I was able to go out there and get a little bit of work done in the garden, even though really I don't feel like I did a lot, but if you look back there, I did a lot. So I'm glad, happy with that. I'll get my wins in wherever I can. So now let's make this pineapple upside down cake.
Friends, we're going to start this cake off by cutting the tops of the pineapple off and giving it kind of a flattish surface for the core to get started. This core works fantastically. It kind of rides along the center core of the pineapple, removing it so it fills that metal cylinder in the center while it's cutting the slices in perfectly even slices. Totally love it. Super recommend. We've been using it for years for our pineapples, and it works out fantastically because every slice is even, and you don't have to worry about having like one slice too thick, one too thin, and it's almost like getting it out of a can. It's really fantastic, and it's super easy to just remove the lid or the little top handle, and it all just slides right off, ready to go, ready to use. We're going to start the cake batter off by whisking our butter. Now I made this recipe twice because I accidentally did a half recipe. No big deal. So you're going to start with 2 sticks of butter whisked with 2 cups of sugar. Once those are nice and creamy and fluffy, you're going to add 4 eggs, and you're going to whisk those in one at a time to make sure they're fully incorporated. To that, we're going to add 3 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, half a teaspoon of salt, and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Now, you want to incorporate all of this really well, and as you're getting to the end, you're going to add half of a cup of milk to this cake batter. I set that aside, pull out my 9x13, and grease that, get it ready to go. Because once you're ready to go, it's just a matter of making the caramel. So our caramel, that starts in a pot with 1 stick of butter and half a cup of brown sugar. If you like a heavier caramel flavor, double it. You're going to want to do 2 sticks of butter and a full cup of brown sugar if you want heavy brown sugar. Now, we didn't want At least I didn't want to make something so sugary. We're already adding so much sugar into the cake batter. So I opted to make a little less caramel. But if you wanted to add more, by all means, go ahead. Now, I think I said it before, but I used avocado spray to grease the bottom of this cake pan. And you're just going to set the pineapple rings one at a time evenly across the pan. You see how evenly they come out using that pineapple core? I love this stuff. In the middle, in between each like vacant little hole in the pineapple rings, we're gonna add a maraschino cherry, and I just place them wherever there's a little bit of space. We love cherries, so like that, we're not fighting over who gets a cherry. Also, use an ice cream scoop to place your batter in place and then spread it with an offset spatula. That way you're not disturbing how everything is placed underneath. It works out really well to do it that way. I love it. You're going to place it into a 350-degree oven. And then if you're like me and you're obsessed with pineapples, all you have to do is clean the tops off and place them in a cup of water. And in about a week or so, they'll start to root and you'll be able to plant them in the dirt. Once the cake has baked for 25 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean, it's ready to pull out of the oven.
You good?
So that was an epic disaster. I thought I broke our stove. Lucky we did it. Like, I'm lucky I didn't break the stove because it's a glass top. Oh man. Oh, this is a catastrophe in the making. I mean, it came out terribly, but it came out. And it broke. Doesn't mean it doesn't taste good. It's my fault. All right, let's let this cool and we'll give it the benefit of doubt. It doesn't have to be beautiful to taste good. It just helps. So, I mean, I don't see the point in grabbing a plate and cutting a slice because it's a catastrophe. If you don't believe it's a catastrophe, check that out. That is a catastrophe. Yep. But like I said, hey, it might taste great. So we are going to give it a try. Because why not, right? It's still hot because I don't care. Oh, really good. It's actually incredibly delicious. Oh well. They can't always be winners. Sometimes you're tired and a little bit dehydrated and you drop a cake on your stove and you think you broke it and you have a small heart attack, but you didn't. It's okay. The stovetop is fine. Here, I'll show you. See, stovetop is fine. The cake is not, but that's okay. There will be many more cakes, and at least it's a really tasty one. So friends, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm laughing about it. It's good to laugh about it. Why stress out? I mean, it is what it is. It already happened. So thank you for joining today. I appreciate you guys. We will all be having the ugly pineapple cake for dessert tonight. I am so grateful for you guys for stopping in. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, even if you're just laughing at me. And just sharing in my disaster. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you again for stopping in. If you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. I appreciate you guys. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves. 6 months growing these pineapples. 6 months growing these pineapples. And that's that I've had those trees for years. So technically I've been growing these pineapples for years. And I dropped the cake. I dropped the cake. Whatever, I'm gonna eat it anyways. It's incredibly delicious, but whatever.